I believe that the Office of the President has decided to put in place some administrative procedures. And I do not see that there is a conflict with the duties of SHRAJ. Because if a public officer is reported to SHRAJ as having contravened the law on filing of the necessary documents or declaring assets, SHRAJ would also be entitled to take its necessary action. So I do not think that there is a conflict between the two.
My lady, that said, let's stay a bit on what you describe as the administrative decision. So that is at the heart of my question. Are you therefore suggesting that in spite of that constitutional mandate given to SHRAJ to investigate and make appropriate orders or recommendations, sanctions, etc., administratively, the president, in the exercise of his executive functions, can also impose sanctions, fines, as is the case?
Honorable Chair, I would like the question to be repeated.
So, what I'm saying is that the Constitution mandates SHRAJ to take up matters regarding breaches of the Constitution in the manner that I've already given a background to. And I'm giving you an example of asset declaration. Failure to failure to declare your assets. I am referring to the recent administrative directive by the president to sanction those breaches by way of a fine. In that context, I want to pick your thoughts on whether or not administratively His Excellency can usurp such powers to impose administrative fines as part of his executive powers.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I do not think that it's a usurpation of powers. That is my position.
Very well. But administratively, Chairman, this strategy by the majority that they have their time. When it gets to my time, then I have follow-up. Anyway, I will yield to you. If you, Chairman, would want to allow these things, no problem. Follow up and think that you will be distracting me. I don't have...
Honourable members, I believe everybody must be treated equally, particularly the leaders. There are instances where the minority leader called for a follow-up question and he's been granted the floor to ask a follow-up question. In all the vetting that we've carried out, the record can bear me out. So if the majority leader wants a follow-up question, I think it is in good faith that we ask him to do a follow-up question. Please, majority leader, you have the floor.
Well, this being the first time I'm speaking, let me join colleagues to congratulate my 1 year senior.
Mr. Chairman, let's be careful what we are doing. It's not good for democracy. If it's a follow-up, let me congratulate my 1 year senior. If it's a follow-up, you should go straight to the chairman. Don't be doing these things. So it may be politically convenient for you, but tomorrow it will hit us as a parliament.
I can just understand the minority leader this afternoon. Because if the person going to ask the follow-up question is now talking to the nominee for the first time. What is wrong?
But
If
he would have the opportunity
the-
to ask his own
the-
substantive questions.
So you want
He's
him
already
to
indicated
ask-
to the deputy chair that he would take his turn after me. Please, let us not set a bad precedent. This is not the first time we are doing vetting. Let's stop this. You are the majority. You may not want to delve deeper. Allow us to do our work. What is happening is not good, Mr. Chairman. When we talk, it's like we are sharing your power. Let's stop it. It's not good for the country. It's not good for our image as parliament. And I protest. He says he's going to have his turn.
Honourable members, I do not think any rules of the House has been flouted. So I'll proceed to give the floor to the Majority Leader. Majority Leader, you have the floor.
Thank you very much. Let me join some colleagues to congratulate my one-year senior at the bar on your nomination to the Supreme Court. By way of follow-up question to what he has done, if a president appoints ministers and public officers and directs all of them to file their asset declaration forms with the Auditor General, and then further directs that when they have filed, they should send him the receipt. Because when you file with the Auditor General, they issue you with a receipt. And he further directs that when you file, forward a copy of the receipt to me so that I see that you have actually filed. If you don't send me a copy of the receipt, I will sanction you. If the president sanctions his appointees for not forwarding copies of the receipts to him, how is that, in your opinion, a usurpation of the functions of the Human Rights Commission?
Honourable nominee, you have the floor.
Honourable Chair, it is to me not a usurpation of the functions, and I have said so. Thank you.
Yes, Honourable Minority Leader, you may proceed.
Honorable nominee, now let me be very specific and pick your thoughts. General sanctions imposed by the president against his appointees for some stated misconduct, in my view, may be within his general powers as an executive president. However, my question to you is, would the president be acting within his constitutional powers, having in mind Article 287 of the Constitution, if he imposes salary fines on his appointees for failure to declare their assets, to impose salary fines?
Honourable Chair, as stated, I do not see that the president has usurped his powers. It is an administrative fine or sanction that he has imposed, and I think it is well within his rights.
To impose salary fines, correct? I mean salary fines. That was your general. I'm referring to the salary fines, the imposition of salary fines. That is the one I'm talking about. As for the general issue of not usurping the powers of Shraj, I've understood you, that he has the powers to administratively sanction. But I'm saying specifically on imposition of salary fines. Your thought on that?
The nominee has heard your question and has provided an answer. So,
Mr. Chairman, yes, he's
kindly
provided.
ask
I've heard the nominee on the issue of usurpation, and I'm not litigating that. what I am specifically narrowing on, which I want unambiguous view. She can say she's abstaining. Yesterday, some declined to answer. I won't pursue. I am asking whether specifically the power to impose salary fines, do you consider that to be constitutional? That is my specific question.
Honorable Chair, my position remains the same.
Very well, we move on. Now, my lady, how should the court view presidential actions that appear to preempt or substitute investigative and enforcement role constitutionally vested in Shraj under Article 287?
Can the question be clarified?
My lady, by way of clarification, and I would repeat the question and break it down so that I assist with some example to help. And I thank you for always seeking clarification. So the question is, how should the courts view presidential actions that appear to preempt or substitute the investigative and enforcement role constitutionally vested in Shraj? So, instances, now you're going to that all-important court, the Supreme Court. A matter comes before you, and on the face of the facts, you realize that there is a preemption, or the presidency or the executive has taken certain decisions that in itself takes away the powers of a constitutional body. As a court, having seen such a situation, what will be the reaction of the court? That is the point I want to know.
Honorable Chair, I believe that these matters will be determined based upon the evidence before the court and the issue placed before the court. So it's very difficult to make a general statement of how the court would react. So it would be dependent on the circumstances of each particular case. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
My lady, will the courts readily and boldly intervene upon clear breaches in such circumstances based on the facts?
If the court should come to a conclusion that there is a clear breach, then I believe and presume that the court would act. If the court should come to that conclusion, then the court would take an action. Yes, Honorable Chair.
Very well. Let's deal with a bit of rule of law and accountability. In your view, what do you think would be the accompanying risk of allowing a certain president to set the punishment for non-declaration of assets, particularly in the absence of an independent investigation or an independent body constituted for that purpose? What do you think are the constitutional risks?
Honorable Minority Leader, is it not the same question that you are coming back to ask? Same question has been asked and answers provided. So for me, it is the same question that you are rephrasing. So you may answer. You may ask another question, please.
Chairman, if you want to find a way to stop this vetting, I will yield to you. Stop what you are doing. The whole country is watching you. Stop what you are doing. Stop what you are doing. If you want us to fold up I'm not here to debate with you. I'll fold, discharge her, let us go. If that's what you want to achieve, I've seen it all. This drama, but whatever precedent, if not 4 years, 12 years, 20 years, it will come back and haunt this house. No problem. If you were strategically planning that a Supreme Court nominee should not go through this thing, so be it. But this question is not out of order. I am putting a question. Please pay attention to my question. Pay attention to my question. Pay attention to the question I'm asking. I'm not asking the same question. I've done research. I've worked overnight. I left this parliament, my office, at 12 a.m. Got back here at 6. I know what I am asking. I'm not saying the same thing. For the avoidance of doubt, I repeat my question. What are the constitutional risks?
I have a short response to
Please
all
respond.
that you have said. The public is not only watching me, it's watching all of us. And the jury will be out there. I cannot be intimidated by you. I'm a man with indomitable spirit. I still rule that a question has been asked. The nominee will not answer this question again. Pose another question.
Honorable nominee, the executive has its executive powers provided for in the Constitution. What, in your view, will amount to situations where risks are created by allowing the executive to overreach its constitutional mandate with administrative directives?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. A determination that the executive has overreached its mandate will be made when the matter comes up before the court. And if the court comes to a determination that the powers have been exercised in contravention of the mandates under the Constitution, the necessary orders would be made. Thank you.
My lady, in your view, if you are confronted with a requirement to use administrative directive of convenience to solve a problem that emanates from a constitutional breach and a requirement for due process to resolve same, what will be your option?
Yes, Honorable Chair. In all cases where it is established that an action is a breach, then it would be important to proceed along constitutional processes. Yes.
Now, let's delve a bit into the nature of asset declaration and obligations thereto. Do you consider the failure of declared asset under Article 2A6 to be an administrative lapse or a potential breach of the Constitution requiring formal investigation and sanctions through SHRAJ?
Honorable Chair, I believe that SHRAJ has its procedures for determination of sanctions in respect of breaches of declaring assets. So I believe that whatever it deems appropriate, that is the procedure that would be applied. Thank you.
Very well. But do you think that under Article 286. Under Article, my lady, let's go to Article 286. It's important we delve a bit into this. First of all, have the opportunity to read. I'll give you the opportunity to go through 286. Then, when you're ready, I can ask the relevant question. When you're ready, please raise your hand.